In December of 2024, a small but mighty conference out of the South was one win away from its 13th national title in Division II football. The Gulf South Conference once again was at the pinnacle of college football at the D2 level. Hello everybody, I'm James Verrett and welcome to the Gulf South Conference 2025 Football Media Day presented by Caldwell Architects. For the next 2 hours, we'll interview coaches, players, give you the preseason poll, and also the all preseason all conference team. We'll talk about 4 teams that'll be battling for the first ever automatic bid to the Division II playoffs, and all 4 teams have a championship history. Which team will come out on top? We'll have to wait 5 weeks to see which team will start the season 1-0 and which team will start 0-1 as they build toward the end of the season to try to compete for that automatic bid and try once again to start the trail towards another national championship. I'm James Verrett, your host. Stay tuned. When we come back, we'll get you ready for the start of the season with the preseason poll and also the preseason all-conference teams.
Caldwell Architects brings creative and thoughtful design solutions to the conception and development of every project. As active members of our community, we understand the important role that buildings and spaces play and the people whose lives are impacted by every project we do. Caldwell Architects delivers state-of-the-art, efficient, and effective designs to solve real-world challenges. Let us help make your vision a success.
In Birmingham, cultural roots run deep and strong. In Birmingham, we honor our singular history and embrace the vigor of progress. We are the dinner table of the South, where gathering is as important as culinary art. In Birmingham, we are big city dazzle with deep South charm. Come find your kind of getaway in Birmingham.
Caldwell Architects brings creative and thoughtful design solutions to the conception and development of every project. As active members of our community, we understand the important role that buildings and spaces play and the people whose lives are impacted by every project we do. Caldwell Architects delivers state-of-the-art, efficient, and effective designs to solve real-world challenges. Let us help make your vision a success.
In Birmingham, cultural roots run deep and strong. In Birmingham, we honor our singular history and embrace the vigor of progress. We are the dinner table of the South, where gathering is as important as culinary art. In Birmingham, we are big city dazzle with deep South charm. Come find your kind of getaway in Birmingham.
Welcome back to Flow College for the 2025 Gulf South Conference Football Media Day, presented by Caldwell Architects. I'm your host, James Verrett. Last year, it was the Blazers of Valdosta State one win away from bringing home the Division II National Championship in football. But they weren't the only Gulf South Conference team that made it to the playoffs. West Alabama had an outstanding year, and they were able to bring the Tigers to the playoffs after a long drought. But they weren't the only ones with a successful season, and this year 4 teams are vying for the first ever automatic bid to the playoffs, and with the expanded number of teams that can compete for the Division II National Championship, they may have an opportunity to get all 4 teams in the playoff. Let's take a look at that all preseason coaches poll. Number 1 is West Florida with 9 votes together, 3 first place votes. West Alabama came in with 1 first place vote and 6 points. Valdosta State coming in as the reigning champion. They are right now preseason at number 3, and Delta State, the perennial power, with 3 votes, and they're coming in at 4. Now, with all of those votes, you've got to have players that are able to execute at a high level in order for the preseason poll to be a reality. Well, when you look at West Florida, they have a lot of players coming back on offense, and a lot of people are picking them to have one of the best offenses in all of D2 football. But let's take a look at our preseason poll. Delta State had 2 players led by their quarterback, Cole Kirk, and he is a young man that has been a stalwart with Delta State, and they're expecting a lot of things from him. For West Alabama, they have 4 players in the all-conference preseason offense led by Braden Jenkins. For Valdosta State, they lost a lot of bodies. They got a new coach, new quarterback, and they have 2 players on the all-conference team on offense, anchored by James Robinson. Now West Florida, they have 8 players, and they have 1 young man that's rather unique in Jay Sharp because they use him as all-purpose. And when we take a look at the defense, all-purpose means that he can do all of everything. As we move over to the defensive side of the ball, Delta State has 3 players anchored by defensive back Taylon Doss. For West Alabama, they have 3 players, but their kicker, Elijah Guyton, is one of the best in the country. For Valdosta State, they have 2 players on defense in the preseason all-defensive team. Jamarlo Sykes, a defensive lineman that raises havoc really on the field, that a lot of people can't block him. But for West Florida, they have 8 players. But remember, I told you that young man, Jay Sharp, he's a return specialist and a utility guy. So that means that we may see Jay Sharp just about anywhere on the field. Stay tuned. When we come back, we'll sit down with the coaches and try to see what they did during the all season and how they're preparing for one of the most unique seasons ever in Gulf South Conference history. Stay tuned.
Caldwell Architects brings creative and thoughtful design solutions to the conception and development of every project. As active members of our community, we understand the important role that buildings and spaces play and the people whose lives are impacted by every project we do. Caldwell Architects delivers state-of-the-art, efficient, and effective designs to solve real-world challenges. Let us help make your vision a success.
In Birmingham, cultural roots run deep and strong. In Birmingham, we honor our singular history and embrace the vigor of progress. We are the dinner table of the South, where gathering is as important as culinary art. In Birmingham, we are big city dazzle with deep South charm. Come find your kind of getaway in Birmingham.
Caldwell Architects brings creative and thoughtful design solutions to the conception and development of every project. As active members of our community, we understand the important role that buildings and spaces play and the people whose lives are impacted by every project we do. Caldwell Architects delivers state-of-the-art, efficient, and effective designs to solve real-world challenges. Let us help make your vision a success.
In Birmingham, cultural roots run deep and strong. In Birmingham, we honor our singular history and embrace the vigor of progress. We are the dinner table of the South, where gathering is as important as culinary art. In Birmingham, we are big city dazzle with deep South charm. Come find your kind of getaway in Birmingham.
Welcome back to the 2025 Gulf South Conference Football Media Day presented by Caldwell Architects. I'm James Verrett. We are joined now by the head coach of Delta State. And before LeBron James said Cleveland, championships were already happening in Cleveland, Mississippi. Isn't that right, Coach?
That's right.
Good.
That's right.
Happy to have you here. 13 seasons.
13 years.
13 years, 12 seasons.
COVID cost us.
There you go.
Yeah.
Does it ever get old, and what continues to motivate you to continue to coach?
Building a new team each year. Every year is different. Every team's different. That I get excited about that. Work at a great place, great administration, great people. I love coming to work every day. It doesn't get old for me.
I hear you.
I just get old.
6-4, 3-3 in conference play. That's not up to necessarily Statesman's College. What did you learn about your team, and what changes did you think you needed to make in order to be more successful this season?
I think we got to play together more. I felt like we were a selfish football team at times last year. I mean, everything I'm saying to you, I've said to them. So I like our offseason. I like the way this team has come together. We got good chemistry right now. I just didn't think we played together very well. I don't think we executed well together, and it was a struggle. And like you said, 6-4 is not where we wanted to be. You know, we had one game canceled. Felt pretty good about that one, but it is what it is. But hey, new year, and all you can do from history is learn from it, and that's what we tried to do. We're trying to learn from it and be a little better. You know, they got us picked dead last in the league. I don't think that's the first time in history Delta State's ever been picked dead last in the league. But all right, that's fine. We still get to play them.
You talk about selfish and unselfish. You got a quarterback that has been very unselfish. He stayed with the program, is in his 6th season. What does he mean to Delta State?
Everything. Just the type of man he is. He was a Statesman Award winner last year, which is our highest award we give as a football program. Just the way he handles himself. He's never once thought about leaving, ever. He wanted to start, finish at Delta State. Just so humbled to be here and be a part of us, and we're glad we got him.
You ask a lot of your quarterbacks. You want them to throw. You also want them to run at times. Mm-hmm. What can we expect to see from him this season?
Same stuff. I mean, that's what he did. I mean, he had a heck of a year last year. I mean, he's 18-6 throwing the football. I don't know how many rushing touchdowns he had offhand, but he was electric with the ball in his hands. We got to protect him better. He's got to make better decisions with the football at times. He knows that. That's what we've been working on. But it's a good quarterback room. A lot of competition there. Yeah, we're excited to see him. We're excited to see what Cole can do.
How important is it for your offense to strike first? There were a lot of games where you were playing really from a deficit and you want to try to get that offense to move forward?
I mean, it'd be great to strike first. It'd be great just to strike. As long as you just keep continuously strike and score some points, that's the name of the game. But, yeah, it's always good to set the tone and get out early. And, that's obviously a point of emphasis going into the season.
When you look at your defense, what can you expect from your defense going up against 3 teams that have very well-oiled machine offenses? Yeah,
I mean, it's going to be a dogfight each week. I like our defense. I like what we're doing. Our coordinator's been there now going into his 4th season, doing a heck of a job with it. Coach Al and his staff do a great job on that side of the ball. And we got stability in our coordinators because John Fletcher offensively has been with me for 13 years. So that's one thing that we've got some stability with our coordinators. And I just think you're going to see a group that plays well together. That's what they did this spring. We're a lot bigger than what we were last year.
Okay.
I think we're just a bigger football team overall. We recruited some better size. We had a really good offseason. Guys were putting on weight. So I think that's going to be a little different from people to see us that have seen us in the past. It's just, I just think we're a bigger football team, just size-wise. We're taller, we're bigger, and I think that's going to help us, in the stretch, because we play the last 3 games a year, probably going to be, some of the toughest we play all year, without a doubt, and you got them back to back to back. You got to play West Alabama on the road, you got West Florida home, then you go to Valdosta. I mean, nobody wants that streak, but we got it, and everybody else has got to do the same thing, so we'll see what happens.
How does this change the dynamic of how you coach and how you build a season? The previous Division II playoff situation, you had to build a resume in order to go in front of a committee. But now you've got an automatic bid that you can vie for, but also at the same time, you may have an opportunity to get an at-large bid.
Oh, no doubt. I mean, I feel like this league is – I think all 4 of these teams in this league are playoff-type teams, with them demanding everything to 8 teams, I think everybody's trying to do the same thing. They're trying to build a resume throughout, right? But then, you got to do well in the head-to-head games in the conference. So I think you just got to take it 1 week at a time, play your best football, and hopefully you're playing your best football in November, and you're kind of peaking at that point. And, maybe it's like we always try to say, we want to play meaningful games in November, and not just a conference game, a meaningful game, like a game that's got playoff implications and things like that. That's what we like at Delta State.
What would be some of the key things that you can see from your team that will give you the indication that they are playing together but also executing at a high level?
I think that it's what we put on tape every day, every week. It's the film doesn't lie. It's how hard are we playing. You can see that on film, and you can feel it on the sideline. It's how well are we communicating. Are we playing complementary football? In 23 we played a lot of complementary football. In 24 we did not play complementary football. We have to learn from that. It's not like we haven't done it before. We've done it before. We just got to get back and do it again and play complementary football in all 3 phases.
When you look at the landscape of college football, everybody's been talking about the transfer portal, revenue sharing, things of that nature. You were very outspoken when the transfer portal first opened up.
Was I?
Yeah, just a little bit. but now you've adjusted to that. How has recruiting changed at all to you at the Division II level?
It probably. I guess it has. You got. People talk about you got to recruit the team that you have on your campus. I don't know about that. I just think you have to build good relationships with them. Guys are going to leave sometimes. It's like you were talking about before we got on, live air here, that certain guys get offered opportunities, they're going to take them. It happens. But it doesn't matter the relationship at that point. There's just certain factors that take over. But I just think you still got to build relations. You got to be relational in your recruiting. They got to trust you. The biggest thing that we do, and we lose some recruits to this, is we tell them exactly how it's going to be at Delta State. And this is exactly how it's going to be. We're not promising you anything. This is your scholarship. This is what it equates to. It is what it is. You know what I'm saying? You want more? Come start. It's that simple.
Right.
But we don't have problems, after that happens, because they know where they stand. So some people turn us down on the front end. That's fine. We don't want those kind of people. We want guys that want to be at Delta State. We want the Cole Kirks of the world that want to come to Delta State. So that's how we do it.
Tradition is something that Delta State is known for. This year, you won't have Mississippi College on your schedule. They've dropped football. How much has that impacted not only the rivalry, or some people would say non-rivalry because you guys have dominated, but how much has that affected the state of Mississippi as far as football?
I think it's hurt it. You're talking about less players from the state of Mississippi getting another school to recruit them. It's obviously hurt the Gulf South. I think it was a poor decision. Especially it kind of is personal to us when we helped them so much to get in the Gulf South when they were trying to get back from Division III. And our people, I know they were on campus with our administrators, and we were helping them do things to get back in the Gulf South. And then for them to drop football is, but no. You're right on the rivalry part. We wanted to beat them, but that really wasn't the rivalry in this league for us.
Mm-hmm. When you look at the league right now, you've got 4 teams. You're
really
playing
good.
3 games to try to get 1 automatic bid. How intense will November be this year?
I think it'll be really intense, but it's no different than any other year, in the Gulf South. It's just going to be probably more intense because, in my opinion, the best 4 teams are left in the Gulf South that were in the Gulf South. You look at the history of the Gulf South over the last few years, the top 4 teams are the final 4 that are still here. So I think it's going to be really, really tough. I think every game is going to be tough because, you don't have a game between that used to not be as tough. I'm not going to call names out, but that's the truth.
Mm-hmm.
The best 4 teams are still here. And to be honest, all 4 are playoff worthy and usually are year in and year out. So we'll see what happens.
We take a look at your schedule. You don't really have any slouches on your schedule when you take a look at it, but important, you got first 2 games at home. How does that help?
Well, we're not used to having that. We don't get that a lot because Coach Kinsman does a great job with our schedule, and he just like everybody else in this league, it's hard to get people to come to Cleveland, Mississippi, but he's done a great job getting those 2 games for us early in the season at home. They're going to be big games. Central Missouri is a really good football team. North Greenville beat us last year in 4 overtimes, really tough games. And then you go 2 really long road trips after that. And then you're trying to, build back up after that to try to get ready to go to Livingston. And they're always tough over there and going to be, a really good football team. And then, West Florida and Valdosta, like I said, those 3 in a row, that's tough.
No doubt about it. Coach, we thank you so very much.
Man, I appreciate y'all.
All right, good luck to you.
Thank you very much.
All right, stay tuned. We come back, we'll talk to the signal caller on the field for the Statesman in Colbert. Stay tuned. It's very rare in today's college football to have a young man stay at one school for 6 seasons. I am joined now by the signal caller for Delta State, Cole Kirk, and you are in your 6th season at the helm of the Statesman. Thank you for joining us. But first of all, what makes Cleveland, Mississippi, and Delta State so special to you?
Well, it's the only place that gave me a shot coming out of high school. So all I want to do is play football. Delta State gave me that chance. So whenever it come down to me coming, I was like, I'm never leaving. So
I hear you. Talk about your maturization from a freshman now to a 6-year senior, how much have you developed over time?
Well, I was kind of a late bloomer growing up too, so I got to college, was able to grow, mature a lot physically, but also just kind of figure out and learn more more about the game of football, which was something amazing to get to experience. And just, you think in high school you kind of know it all, then you come out and you realize, oh, you don't really know what you think you know. So it was a blessing just to be able to be surrounded by so many great coaches and just grow as a player. And I plan to be a coach, so I just try to soak in everything I can. So
you had a dynamic year last season. You guys really put a lot of pressure on the quarterback position because you're responsible for throwing, but also a lot of the runs that will happen will be quarterback led. Are you consider yourself a running quarterback or a throwing quarterback, and which one would you prefer?
I want to do them both. I don't care. I don't have one that I prefer. I always threw more growing up. Then as I, again, got better physically, I realized I could be pretty dynamic running the ball. So I'm going to do them both. As a competitor, you want the ball in your hands in pivotal moments. I don't care if we're throwing, running, whatever we need, I want to get it done. So
as a competitor, 6-4, 3-3 last season, not up to Statesman level of excellence. What do you think went wrong last year, and what do you think you guys accomplished during the spring that'll make you better in the fall?
There's just, I think whenever it got down to it, whenever we come to close games, we couldn't do it and we needed to do to get over the hump. And those traits that you build start in the off season. So whether it's quitting in workouts or just not doing your best constantly, or just things like that, the traits that you build in the off season is what leads in the season. So I think that we just kind of really focused on that this off season, and everybody's bought in, and we've really come together. And I think that's why we should be able to definitely improve that record this year. So
preseason, they have you guys finishing 4th out of a 4-team lead. Do you look at that as a sign of disrespect, or you say, okay, nobody's counting on us, so we have a lot of work to do in order to prove ourselves to the public?
What we've always done at Delta State is kind of worried about ourselves anyway. So we'll look at all those rankings and stuff like we know, but we kind of just still worry about us at the end of the day. We know that if we just focus on us and do what we're supposed to do, everything will fall the way it's supposed to.
When you look at your defense, the defense that you dealt with during the spring, how much of an improvement have you seen, and what can fans expect to see this fall from that defense?
Oh, they're dynamic. We got playmakers all over the field. And it's not that we didn't last year. It's just I feel like this year everybody's just – you get the newcomers that come in, they figure it out even more. And then we get more newcomers come in, and it's just all meshing. We got dynamic players all over the place, big-time plays all over the place. It's going to be very exciting.
How do you like the way that this is going to be really a 3-game season in order to win the conference championship and the automatic bid, but you already have a very difficult regular season before you get to conference play? How important is it for you guys to stay focused on the task at hand? Because you could win a lot up until November, and if you don't do well in November, you may not have an opportunity for the playoffs.
Well, all that matters is taking it game by game. Yeah, we need to win the conference games for sure, but at the same time, we need to win all the other ones as well. So if we just focus each week and treat each game as it's a new week, no matter who we're playing, that we can't look ahead, we can't look behind, it's just focusing this week, we'll do just fine.
I hear you. When you look at your schedule, you got 2 home games to start the season, so you don't have to travel as much. How important is that in order not only to build team camaraderie, but to try to get some early wins? Because playing in Cleveland is a hard place to win when you're coming in.
I mean, it's amazing, and being there so long, I'm used to leaving. So I very much appreciate it to both the coaches that I get to stay my last year, the first 2, and get those out of the way. And really, I think it builds camaraderie with the team, but also builds excitement for the season as far as fans and people want to come out, especially if you are able to get those first 2 games at home. I mean, it just kind of snowballs into the rest of the season. So it's something I think is very exciting and very fun.
I hear you. Now, you're a 6-year senior. You already have your bachelor's degree. You're working on your master's. As far as getting yourself ready to be a head coach, have you been leaning in on Coach Cooley and trying to emulate him, or what kind of coach do you think you'll be once you finally get the whistle around your neck?
I want to take aspects from all the coaches. I've been surrounded by some great ones growing up throughout my lifetime, so I'm definitely going to take pieces from Coach Cooley, absolutely. But I'm also going to put my own twist and flair on a lot of things. I think that to be great, you take things from your mentors and then you make them your own, and that's what makes you great.
All right. Thank you so very much, and good luck to you this fall.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for having me.
All right. Stay tuned. We come back. We'll have more of the 2025 Gulf South Conference Football Media Day presented by Caldwell Architects. Stay tuned.
Caldwell Architects brings creative and thoughtful design solutions to the conception and development of every project. As active members of our community, we understand the important role that buildings and spaces play and the people whose lives are impacted by every project we do. Caldwell Architects delivers state-of-the-art, efficient, and effective designs to solve real-world challenges. Let us help make your vision a success.
In Birmingham, cultural roots run deep and strong. In Birmingham, we honor our singular history and embrace the vigor of progress. We are the dinner table of the South, where gathering is as important as culinary art. In Birmingham, we are big city dazzle with deep South charm. Come find your kind of getaway in Birmingham.
Caldwell Architects brings creative and thoughtful design solutions to the conception and development of every project. As active members of our community, we understand the important role that buildings and spaces play and the people whose lives are impacted by every project we do. Caldwell Architects delivers state-of-the-art, efficient, and effective designs to solve real-world challenges. Let us help make your vision a success.
In Birmingham, cultural roots run deep and strong. In Birmingham, we honor our singular history and embrace the vigor of progress. We are the dinner table of the South, where gathering is as important as culinary art. In Birmingham, we are big city dazzle with deep South charm. Come find your kind of getaway in Birmingham.
On to our second team in the Gulf South Conference. West Alabama Tigers had a dynamic year, but they made a change. Their head coach moved up to the AD spot, and then they hired a new coach, but not just any coach, a coach that had a long history in Division I athletics as a strength and conditioning coach and also as a special teams coach. We're now joined by Scott Cochran. Thank you so very much.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me. Happy to be here.
You're the head Tiger.
Watch out.
Now, a lot of people want to know, you were at the pinnacle of college football as a assistant coach, strength and conditioning coach. What made Livingston, Alabama attractive to you?
I mean, it's God's country, baby. Come on now. Have you ever been to Livingston, Alabama? It's beautiful. It's everything you ever wanted. But no, when it came to football, it was a perfect home for me and my family.
I hear you. Now let's talk football. A lot of people are saying, how can a special teams coach transition into being a head coach? How much has the athletic director, previous head coach, helped you in that transition?
Oh, tremendously. Coach Gilliland's been great. Anytime I've had questions, anytime I've had anything, I've gone to him. But I also have some other people I can call too. You know, I have some very close friends that coach some big ball too. So yeah, he's been great for me. I mean, I really don't believe I would be able to have any success, whatsoever without Coach Gilliland. He's been awesome.
I hear you. When you look at your coaching philosophy, people know they've seen you on 60 Minutes as a strength and conditioning coach. They know that philosophy. But what is your philosophy as a head coach?
Well, I think it's really simple. When you come to West Alabama, I want to make your life better, enhance your life, right? So I want you to get a degree. That's huge. That's the most important thing to me because football only lasts so long, right? And at this level, our percentages are low making it to the next level, right? So number one is I want these guys to get a degree. And then I want them to know what it is to be a man, to define that for them. We're going on a leadership retreat tomorrow, actually. After I'm done here, I'm taking 20 of my leaders on my team, and we are going to go spend a night somewhere, break some bread. But that's number one to me, is teaching them how important it is to do what you're supposed to do, to kind of have the discipline, to understand what discipline is, right? To understand what it means to do the right thing and to do it all the time, right? So academics is number one. Number two is your lifestyle. Are you taking care of yourself? And then once we get to football, you know what my football team's going to look like. I don't need to explain that. But my plan is to be very physical, very aggressive, and a tough team. A team that I want other teams to say, I don't want to play them anymore. That is the ultimate goal.
I hear you. Well, when you're talking about creating that team, you got to build a staff. How hard was it to convince some guys that you had in the past to say, hey, I'm the head coach, I finally got it. Why don't you come over to West Alabama? Or how easy was it to make that decision for them?
I mean, I don't want to brag, but I think that it's pretty easy when a guy's retired from the NFL and he's sitting at home looking for what am I going to do next? And I say, hey, I got a position for you. Come find out what it means to give back to the game that gave you so much. So, yeah, my phone's been ringing. It's been great. I mean, my former players know exactly what I'm trying to do, right? And so they want to jump in. They want to jump in the boat, and they want to be a part of something special. So I'm like, come on. We're creating titles left and right.
Well, when you look at your team offensively, outside of being physical, are we going to see a pass-happy team? We want to see a rushing team. What will we see from you?
I mean, obviously, let's talk football, right? So I want to be balanced, right? As simple as it gets, I want to be balanced. I don't want to give you all of everything that we're doing, but I did not come in and change coordinators. The coordinators are the same. The only difference is we have a special teams coordinator. That's the only new when it comes to our offense and our defense. So we're not going to look crazy different. We're just going to have a little bit of an edge to us.
I hear you. Now, normally when I talk to coaches, let's say they were a quarterback, they're a little bit harder on their offensive coordinator and quarterback coach. You have been a long-time strength and conditioning coach. I don't think when I looked at the ledger they had a strength and conditioning coach position. So
no, they do. We do. Oh, okay. Come on now.
I thought you were still
I got
out
Coach
there.
Duke. Yeah, no, I got Coach Duke. Coach Duke's really good.
So do you put any additional pressure on that position?
Of course. I mean, come on. Every position needs pressure, right? Mm-hmm. Everyone needs pressure because when the game comes, the pressure's going to be there. So if we can create pressure in the off season, it only prepares us for the season when the real pressure comes, when you have to make that tough decision,
When we talk about your season coming up, you start at Legion Field with the kickoff classic week 0. How important is that game to really get the fans to know exactly what kind of team we'll see coming up?
I think every game you're going to have that opportunity. You have to create your identity every game. But we're just excited about playing at Legion Field. Let me explain something to you. Mm-hmm. I have heard about this stadium because when I was at Alabama, that's where the game was played, the Auburn game. Mm-hmm. When the Iron Bowl was played, it was played there. That was the neutral site. So I've heard about it for years, but I've yet to coach in it. So I'm excited about busting that door wide open. That's going to be some fun now.
Yes, it will be. Now, when you look at the rest of your season, this is a unique year for the Gulf South Conference because you've got 4 teams vying for one automatic bid. So do you look at it as 2 separate seasons, or do you look at it as building toward that conference championship and the conference games?
No, I think you got to take it one game at a time. You got to take it one play at a time, right? So you take it one game at a time. But we know what the conference is, right? This is not an easy conference. This is the SEC of D2. It is exactly what you want, right? We may be 4, but we're 4 strong. Correct. And so there are going to be some wars. That 4 weeks, those 3 weeks in a row, beautiful. But at least I got 2 of them at home, so that'll help. Because I know that Livingston's gonna stand up, baby. I know they're gonna show up.
I hear you. Now, this time as a head coach, you had to go into some homes as far as recruiting. It's been well documented, some of the issues that you've had in your life and your personal life. When you had to go in and answer those tough questions, how much has your journey prepared you to answer those questions?
No, I think my journey makes it so that people can get real. I think when I walk in the door, people know, okay, this guy's been through something. I'm going through something. I wonder if I can grab him and he can help me out. Because it affects every household. What I've dealt with, everyone has dealt with in some form or fashion, whether it be a relative or a close friend that they know has struggled with addiction. And I'm open about it. And so when you're open about it, people are attracted to it. People want to know, okay, how come he's doing so well, right? What does recovery even mean, right? And so it's been awesome. People get real quick.
That's true. That is very, very true. Well, Coach, we thank you so very much.
Yes, sir.
Good luck to you.
Go Tigers.
All right. Stay tuned. We come back. We'll talk to Spencer Arsenault, the signal caller for the West Alabama Tigers. Stay tuned. Welcome back to the 2025 Gulf South Conference Football Media Day presented by Caldwell Architects. I'm James Barrett, your host. We're joined now by the signal caller for the Tigers of West Alabama, Spencer Arsenault. And Spencer, last season 9-2, 5-1. You went to the playoffs, lost to Lenore Ryan. But what does it mean for this team to bring that championship banner back towards the Tigers in Livingstone?
It just, I mean, we had a good year last year, just trying to carry over, but, it's in the past. We got to focus on this year and hopefully, go accomplish what we want to accomplish.
They had a coaching change. You got Coach Scott Cochran coming in as head coach. When you first heard that Coach Gilliland was moving up to AD, no longer going to be a coach, were you concerned at all? And how excited were you when you finally found out that you had a new coach in Coach Cochran?
Yeah, I mean, you know, when your head coach leaves and decides to, move up or go do what he wants to do, it kind of gives you a little scare. But when I found out it was Coach Cochran, I was obviously pretty excited. Guy's got 8 national championships, so must know a little bit. So, yeah.
How much has changed? What can we expect to see a little different from the Tigers this year? How much has the offseason changed? Workouts, practice, things of that nature?
I mean, nothing too crazy. Just I would say we got more energy daily. The coaching staff, they bring it. Blake Sims, Ronnie Clark, guys like that, they constantly bring it. So you kind of have to bring an edge every day, which is awesome. Just like a championship mentality. We talk it every day. So we do skull sessions. They actually have one today. So, but it's awesome. I mean, we just constantly trying to build that mentality for the season and be ready for week 1.
What clicked last year in order for you guys to go 5-1 and 9-2?
Honestly, just our brotherhood. I think that was our foundation. Everybody trusted everybody. We could hold each other accountable and nobody get mad. I'd base everything off our brotherhood and our work ethic, honestly.
I hear you. When you look at this season, you only got 4 teams in the league. You got to have basically 3 wins in order to win the title. How important is it for you guys not only to win those other games that you're going to be playing, but really lock in, because a loss could really set you back?
I mean, yeah, everyone knows what it is. I mean, the Gulf South, obviously, it's pretty tough, and, we're cutting down to only 4 teams. But, I mean, we're focused week by week, game by game, do what we need to do, game plan for our opponent, and go out there and compete and win. Yes, sir.
Coach Cochran says that he expects to have a physical team, physical play. I know a lot of that starts with the defense. How was spring, and how physical can we expect to see that defense coming up this fall?
Oh, they're going to hit you. Just be ready. They're going to hit you. I'll say guys like Isaac Williams, Trey Nunn, Mike McGregor, they'll come down. They'll lay the hat. But also we're going to lay the hat on our side of the ball too. I mean, our running backs are going to bring it. Our O-line's going to bring it. Heck, I might even bring it every now and then if I need to. But, we're going to be physical, and we're going to be a tough team. We're not going to quit. We've kind of always been that type of team, but even more so now. So,
I hear you. What will be the indicators to let you know that the team is on the right track? I know last year you may have had a game or a moment where you said, okay, I think that we're on pace to be better than what we've been before. What are those indicators this season?
Honestly, our leadership, I would say. Guys like Ben Newton and, again, Trey Nunn, Mike McGregor, Isaac Williams, just Nunu, Darius Nelson. Just our leadership. I think our class, it falling onto us is awesome. It's in our hands now. So, and I think our guys are really listening to us. So it's going to be awesome. It's going to be good.
What makes it so tough to play in West Alabama, and why is it that so many teams falter when they come into your stadium?
Honestly, we're a small town, right? Livingston ain't too big, so everybody's real close-knit group. The locals are awesome. They love Livingston. They love UWA. But we also, we get people from Tuscaloosa, York, just surrounding counties, Demopolis. It's that small little stadium gets pretty loud, so And also, again, we're a tough team, so you're playing on our field, so it's not going to be easy. Never is. I don't know why, but it just never is.
I hear you. Thank you
Yes,
so
sir.
very much for
Yes,
joining
sir.
us, and good luck to you.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right, stay tuned. We'll have more from the Gulf South Conference Football Media Day right here on Flow College. Stay tuned.
Caldwell Architects brings creative and thoughtful design solutions to the conception and development of every project. As active members of our community, we understand the important role that buildings and spaces play and the people whose lives are impacted by every project we do. Caldwell Architects delivers state-of-the-art, efficient, and effective designs to solve real-world challenges. Let us help make your vision a success.
In Birmingham, cultural roots run deep and strong. In Birmingham, we honor our singular history and embrace the vigor of progress. We are the dinner table of the South, where gathering is as important as culinary art. In Birmingham, we are big city dazzle with deep South charm. Come find your kind of getaway in Birmingham.
Caldwell Architects brings creative and thoughtful design solutions to the conception and development of every project. As active members of our community, we understand the important role that buildings and spaces play and the people whose lives are impacted by every project we do. Caldwell Architects delivers state-of-the-art, efficient, and effective designs to solve real-world challenges. Let us help make your vision a success.
In Birmingham, cultural roots run deep and strong. In Birmingham, we honor our singular history and embrace the vigor of progress. We are the dinner table of the South, where gathering is as important as culinary art. In Birmingham, we are big city dazzle with deep South charm. Come find your kind of getaway in Birmingham.
Welcome back to the 2025 Gulf South Conference Football Media Day presented by Caldwell Architects. I'm your host, James Verrett. We are joined now by Caleb Nobles in his third season with the Argonauts of West Florida. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
First of all, championships is something that have been really built from the ground up at West Florida. You guys made it to the championship game of the Gulf South Conference, lost to the eventual national runner-up in Valdosta State. What did you learn about your team from last season?
Yeah, I mean, we got a resilient bunch, and you got to replace a lot from going from last year to this year like everybody else in the country does. But our guys will fight, right? They're scrappy. We played with a lot of young guys last year that are back and ready to, they got the experience, they got the bitter taste of losing games that we feel like we were close and in. So we're excited about them being back and excited about the future with West Florida football.
In today's world, when you say you've got a lot of players coming back, that's a rarity. With the transfer portal and all of these things going on, did you have to go out and re-recruit a lot of your guys, or they were saying, Coach, I'm coming back, it doesn't matter because we got unfinished business?
Yeah, I mean, I think every head coach has to do it differently, and you always got to recruit your roster. Probably in December and April is the biggest time where you got to worry about roster retention more than anything else, and then you kind of decide what you got to go get after you see who leaves and who stays. But we've been blessed with a lot of guys who want to be here. We lost some good players in the portal, but part of that happens when they're good players and they're young and you sign them out of high school and develop them. They get opportunities when they play well. So we're excited about the guys who are here, right, and we've added, and guys that we're excited to – a lot of people don't know about right now, but when the lights turn on the 29th, hopefully they hear their name pretty quickly.
What can you tell me about your offense, specifically your quarterback in Marcus Stokes?
Yeah, we got a lot of guys back on offense. We got 4 offensive linemen who have starting experience. We've signed a couple guys who have starting experience other places. Corey Scott's back, great player. He'll be here in a few minutes, talk to you guys. Marcus Stokes here, who's a great kid, right, really good player, really talented player who took his lumps last year as a redshirt freshman, but he's had a great offseason as far as learning and growing and trying to fix mistakes. And we're excited about our running back room. We got a lot of guys back, top 2 runners back, and tight ends is hopefully a strength for us as well. And then hopefully we think could be a deep wide receiver room as well.
On the flip side, on your defense, did you want to see some improvement? What aspects of improvement did you want to see, and what can we expect to see this fall?
Yeah, I mean, for sure. I think any head coach in the country would say they want to see improvement, and our defense is a very good unit, but there's plenty of things we can get better at, and they know that, and our staff, I know for sure, is working to improve and be at our best whenever it matters the most on game day. But I'm excited about a lot of guys we got returning and a lot of new faces that we'll add in and getting them used to our culture and how we call and do things and play, our style on defense.
When you look at your schedule last year, you guys had a run where you were really, demolishing teams until you got into that Valdosta State game. And I remember you said something that you took full responsibility for the loss, and you said that you didn't do enough personally in order to get that win over. That was a unique game for you because not only are you a West Florida guy, you're also a Valdosta State guy. What did that loss teach you about your team as a coach, and what did it teach you about going forward in this conference now that you only got 4 teams counting yourself, and every game really matters now?
Yeah, I mean, obviously it's a really good team that we played that night and ended up losing the national championship, and got a lot of respect for what Coach Jackson did, and so great opportunity for our guys. We played with a lot of young guys in that game, so a lot of opportunities for them to learn in the moment and be thrown to the fire and use that as learning lessons moving forward. And so we're excited about the experience that we got from that game and looking forward to hopefully kind of using that as motivation. But for us, that's a whole different team. They got a whole different team. We're worried about 2025 and just playing at our best every Saturday.
When you look at your schedule, you really don't have any slouches. Lenore Ryan, you've got North Greenville, you've got Northeastern State, teams of that nature, but you've got those conference games. Do you look at it as 2 separate seasons or every game trying to build toward winning a conference game?
Yeah, I think every game is important, right? Is the most important game is the next one, but we start out with Lenore Ryan, but we start out with ourselves, right? And we're the only common denominator in every game. So we're not focused on anybody else but the person in the mirror that we're looking at and playing at our best. And I try to kind of break up our game. We got 2 bye weeks this year, so kind of break it up in 3 different quadrants of the season and be able to play. So I'm excited about the schedule, and I think it sets up well for us. And at the end of the day, everybody's good in our level. We've been historically good playing football, so that puts a target on your back, and people want to give you their best when they play you, so you better be ready, and I think our guys have learned that.
Good things have been happening for the Argonauts and on the campus of West Florida. You got a large donation, so a stadium, a proper stadium, as some people would say, is in the works, on its way. You got to deal with a little bit more inconvenience for a couple of seasons, but how important is it getting that stadium moving forward?
Yeah, I mean, I think the inconvenience is definitely worth it, and it gives you something that we see every day at UWF's campus, just the growth overall. And, we're trying to build champions for life, and so giving them the best tools to do that, right, is the best way to do it. So building a new stadium, building a dorm on campus, things that have been put out in the public, and we got a lot of really good, generous donors who help us, they get a lot of limelight for this, but they do a lot of really good things for us every year. So we're excited about the future of UWF, the current UWF, and we think that our alumni base is really excited about what we're doing, and we're excited about moving forward with everything we got going on.
Now, you're a unique person, not only as a player but as a coach, because when they had those fifth-year extra years, you took advantage of it, used it to your advantage, won a national title out of it. When you look at the landscape of college athletics today with the transfer portal and all of those things, how has that changed the way that you approach young men, and how has your experience helped recruit young men who are looking for a new place to go?
Yeah, I think, to flip it, my experience definitely helps. I'm a younger guy, obviously, and I'm 31 years old, so I feel like I'm close to those guys and can connect with them, on a good level. And then for me, things have changed, in landslide probably since I sat up here a year ago, 2 years ago. So recruiting's different, everything's different. But at the end of the day, this game is about development, and this game is about, finding young men that you want in your program and helping develop them to be great men in the future, great husbands, great fathers, employers, things like that football's going to end for everybody that you play, right? And when you play the game, the air will come out at some point. So all this outside noise that you hear is great, but at the end of the day, you got to develop men, right, and help them play football at a high level, but get a degree, because that's the most important thing for them. So things change, but development and character do not change, and it never will in the history of the world. So we're excited to do that at UWF, and we think it's a great place to help develop those guys on their path.
What do you think will be the indicators from your team early on that will let you know that your team is on the right path once the season kicks off?
Yeah, I think our leaders are stepping up, right? We got about a 13-person leadership council that we're getting ready to meet as much as we can and make sure those guys understand that it's their job to help on top of us, right? Establish hey, this is how we do things around here, right? And then show those guys, the rest of the team, what it looks like to be good men in our program. And so I want our guys to be tough, physical, but I want them to have character and discipline and not be afraid to help people up when you do knock them down, right? And be okay with that, and show up and play our best and not focus on anybody else but the UWF Argos.
All right, Coach. Thank you so very
Yes,
much.
sir.
Good luck
Thank
to
you.
you
Go
this
Argos.
season. All right, stay tuned. When we come back, we'll talk to the wide receiver Corey Scott with the Argonauts of West Florida. Stay tuned. Didn't take long for the Argonauts to start a program and win a national title. They're looking for their second national title this season. We're joined by one of their wide receivers, Corey Scott. Thank you so very much for joining us.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Now, we've been talking off camera, and a lot of people, a lot of the prognosticators have been saying that you guys offensively are loaded, but you say it's not just the offense, correct?
That's correct. Offense and defense, fully loaded. Every single position, have a competition everywhere, all over the field. So, yes, sir.
Last year, you guys had an incredible run where you guys were demolishing teams until you went to Valdosta. What changed? And you even told me that they were doing stuff that you had never seen as a young football player.
I mean, it's kind of a hard scheme whenever, you come out prepared for something, and then they come out doing something different. But, I don't know, it's kind of hard getting double-teamed personally. As a freshman, I've never seen anything like that before at this level. So, we're going to come out next year. We should come out more prepared, not just, like you said before, we're loaded as a team now, as an offensive unit. So we're going to have way more weapons, and, we're all getting better.
What makes this offense so special?
Honestly, just the unity. We all come together. We all work very hard. We all hold each other accountable. And, all the wide receivers, we push each other. Running backs push each other. Everyone wants to compete. And I feel like that's, something that we all bring together. And if one of us falls short, we all fall short. We all should, be there together. So that's one of our main things.
I hear you. When you look at that wide receiver room, you're stepping up as a leader. What are some of the other guys that are stepping up this year? Could you tell me something about them?
We have, Javon Swinton. We have a couple transfers that are coming in. Tyree Holloway, some of those guys, Trey Durden. So we have a lot of people that are coming in, bringing competition. We all fighting for a spot. We all, not just that, we're not just fighting for a spot, but we're all a brotherhood too. So, we come together, join together, and we're going to be one. So should be fiery,
I hear you. Your quarterback, Marcus Stokes, what does he bring to the table, and what do you like about him as a quarterback?
I like everything about Marcus. We've been together since high school. So we never played together at the same high school, but, we've been playing, 7-on-7. So he's always had that dog mentality. He can use his legs, his arm. He's a very versatile player, so we can use him in any way, run the packages. He can, obviously sling it 70 yards if he needs to. So reading defenses, we should be okay, especially in the quarterback position too. So,
defensively, what can we expect to see from your defense?
Same thing, if not more. We have a lot of competition there as well. DBs, linebackers, D-line, safeties, it doesn't matter what it is. That's why fall camp is going to be very fun because we have a lot of competition going in for our, a great offense going against a great defense every single day. So our defense is going to be definitely something that's going to put on the show during the season for this conference.
Now, you're from Jacksonville, Florida. As they say, I got to say this, Duval.
Duval, yes, sir.
What made you choose the Argonauts, and what makes it so special down there in Pensacola?
It's like home, honestly. It's pretty much almost the same as Jacksonville. If not just Jacksonville, just a little bigger. That's the only difference. But, I have a lot of trust in Coach Nobles, and that's the reason I chose here because I love the coaches, love the fan base, love the area. There's honestly nothing really bad about it at all, really. So, yeah.
I heard that the freshman and sophomore class are all going to put on hard hats and help build the stadium so before you guys leave, y'all can play in that new stadium.
That would be really cool. That would be really cool. That's something to look forward to, just seeing that stadium, something that we were in before it even happened. Because honestly, we're in a stadium now that players before us, they didn't get to play in. So, us being able to play in two different types of stadiums, that would be really cool for us, for my class as well.
What will be the indication to you that your team is on the right track? You guys had an incredible run during the regular season last year. What will be the characteristics that you need to see from your team to let you know that this is a championship-level team?
Things that we will probably need to see is just just getting closer. Doesn't matter if it's just hanging out outside of football, holding each other accountable, just building that brotherhood. Because without that, we won't have anything. So if we have a lot of structure and hold each other accountable, we should be okay. And I think that's really big. We have arete, which means excellence. So we all should be excellent in every single thing that we do and hold each other accountable, and that's how we all can get better individually. And if we're all good individually, we'll be strong as a pack, as a unit.
All right. Thank you so very much,
Yes,
and
sir.
good luck to you.
Thank you.
All right. Stay tuned. We come back. We'll talk to the head coach at Valdosta State, the national runner-up. Stay tuned.
Caldwell Architects brings creative and thoughtful design solutions to the conception and development of every project. As active members of our community, we understand the important role that buildings and spaces play and the people whose lives are impacted by every project we do. Caldwell Architects delivers state-of-the-art, efficient, and effective designs to solve real-world challenges. Let us help make your vision a success.
In Birmingham, cultural roots run deep and strong. In Birmingham, we honor our singular history and embrace the vigor of progress. We are the dinner table of the South, where gathering is as important as culinary art. In Birmingham, we are big city dazzle with deep South charm. Come find your kind of getaway in Birmingham.
Caldwell Architects brings creative and thoughtful design solutions to the conception and development of every project. As active members of our community, we understand the important role that buildings and spaces play and the people whose lives are impacted by every project we do. Caldwell Architects delivers state-of-the-art, efficient, and effective designs to solve real-world challenges. Let us help make your vision a success.
In Birmingham, cultural roots run deep and strong. In Birmingham, we honor our singular history and embrace the vigor of progress. We are the dinner table of the South, where gathering is as important as culinary art. In Birmingham, we are big city dazzle with deep South charm. Come find your kind of getaway in Birmingham.
Last season, the Valdosta State Blazers were one win away from bringing home another national championship to Valdosta, Georgia. Their head coach moved on, and now they have a new head coach, former offensive coordinator, now head coach Graham Craig. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
First of all, the process, going from offensive coordinator to head coach. It wasn't just you walk in the office, OC, and you walk out head coach. Was it a process?
It was. Obviously had the national championship, and then had a little bit of a break before the interview process started, and then went through the whole interview process while also, having conversations with players and being involved, still recruiting and things like that. So it wasn't super fast, but it was obviously was super lucky and blessed to get the position.
how magical was last season, and what do you take from the staff and your head coach in order to partake that into this new season as you as the head coach?
Right. Really special season. Really enjoyed working for Coach Jackson. Learned a lot of things from him. And overall, just a great year. Obviously, Sammy Edwards, quarterback, was when you take over a job as offensive coordinator, quarterback's a really important position, and he had a great season. Obviously, got to camp with the Giants a little bit, so super lucky to have him. And overall, just a really special year with the offense, and looking forward to getting some of those guys back and adding to the guys that we brought in as well.
So talk to me about your philosophy. What kind of head coach do you expect to be? Do we expect to see wholesale changes, minor changes? What can we expect?
Offense, obviously, still be very similar, calling the plays, but just that time initially when I got the head coaching job was to develop those relationships with the defense and look at things from an entire program standpoint instead of just the offense. So had some relationships with guys like Greg Hudgens that's here today, and some leaders coming back on defense, a lot of returners in the secondary. So was able to lean on those guys on defense with the new staff coming in, them learning and doing a great job with that. So that really helped the transition for me.
How busy has it been for you? You're having really dual roles. You're calling plays, but also you're running the program. Do you have a lot of time left at the end of the day?
Feel really great about the staff we put together, and being able to delegate some of those things out has been great for me. Really pleased with the staff and looking forward to what they can do this season.
When we take a look at the season and your schedule, it's a daunting schedule, but you start the season here at Legion Field. Am I correct?
Correct. We'll start week 0 here and got a 3-week camp to get ready for it. So a lot of things to figure out during that camp, but really excited about that first week 0 game.
Personally, how special is that for you, because you're from Spain Park, you're right here in the Birmingham area, and you get to call your first game as a head coach at Valdosta State right there at Legion Field?
Yes, sir. Really special to me. Never got to play there as a player, but went to some games for state championships and some other games that were held there, and just actually met one of the guys that's calling the games, one of my best friends. So really cool to get to come back and play, or get to coach a team in Birmingham, start off the season.
When you look at the rest of your schedule and the way the Gulf South is measured up, you've got really a 4-team league. You got 3 games in order to get that automatic bid. Do you look at it as a 2 schedules in one, or do you look at it as just building to get to those conference games?
Just starting off in week 0 and going week by week. Obviously, there's not as many teams as there was in the Gulf South Conference, but it's still 3 really good football teams you're going to have to play. And obviously it is at the end of the year, so it's that stretch you get to, but you're just looking week to week and getting prepared each week for that.
How much have you told your young men about the fact that now the bullseye is on you? You are the conference champion. You're the national runner-up. You've got everything that is focused on you. Everybody wants to beat you. Or is it just the fact that you've got 4 teams that are so close as far as the rivalry, how intense it is? It's just every man for themselves.
Once you get into conference play, this conference has had so much success in the playoffs in recent years, and you know that as soon as you get into conference play each week, you're going to have to bring your best to have a chance, and that's something that we will talk about, but obviously we're going to take it week by week and hopefully get playing our best football at the end when that conference play starts.
Well, a lot of people think Valdosta, they think national champion, they think football power. What makes that place so special to where it is a football powerhouse?
The culture that's been set for a long time at Valdosta State, and it starts with the players, the way that they go about work, and you really see it in the offseason with Coach Dosher in the weight room, and the way that a new staff came in and the amount of time they spent to learn a system and to be able to get the work in the spring. Didn't have as many players as what you'd like in the spring, and never complained. They just kept working, and you can see that, and it's been that way at Valdosta State for a long time, and my goal as a head coach is to keep it that way.
With the transfer portal, rev sharing, all these transfer, do people still call Valdosta State and say, hey, I want to come here and play? It's
obviously we've had a lot of success with players that have come in and had a lot of success here. So it is a place that we still want to recruit guys to, and we've had to do a lot of that. We had a lot of players that left at mid-year, so I had to bring in transfers, high school kids to get a team ready for fall camp. So really excited about what that'll look like.
This will be your first opportunity to lead a college program. What do you think will be your level of nerves going into that first game at Legion Field?
I think with the staff we put together, I feel really good about it. I'm just excited to see the new guys, and obviously with 3 weeks, there's a lot that has to happen within the 3 weeks with the amount of new that we have. So that's something that fall camp is obviously always important, but for how much we have, it's going to be a quick turnaround to get ready for that week 0 game.
When you look at the national championship game, what did you learn from it? Improvements defensively that you think you needed to make in order to get over that hump and bring home another national championship?
Obviously, Ferris State was a really good football team, and we made some uncharacteristic mistakes early on, both sides of the ball, specifically offense, and kind of got off to a slow start. And by the time offensively we kind of got a little bit of rhythm, it was 21-0, and we were playing from behind, and every time we tried to get something going, a mistake that we hadn't been making throughout the year, we made. So obviously they were a great football team, and our goal is to work hard to potentially get back there.
All right, Coach, thank you so very much. Good luck to you.
Thank you so much.
As they say, welcome as a head coach to the Gulf South Conference.
Thank you.
All right, stay tuned. We come back. We'll talk to one of those vaunted defensive players for the Blazers. Stay tuned. When you have a team that only has one loss during the season, that means that their defense has to be pretty stout. We're joined now by the Blazers defensive lineman, Greg Hutchins. How are you doing, sir?
I'm doing great. Thank you for having me.
Good, good, good. Last season, you guys ran the table all the way to the national championship game. You lost to Ferris State. How special was that moment, and what were the ingredients that you took to say, okay, I think we've got a pretty good team this year?
First of all, the moment was great. Being able to, get to McKinney, Texas, and being able to compete for a national title. Not everybody who plays this game is able to say that. So, just grateful and thankful for that opportunity. Going into this next season, we'd like to repeat that and finish the job this year. I think that throughout the off season, a lot of guys have, put in the work. We know what the standard is. We know what we have to do to finish. So. That's all it's about this year.
The ingredients of a championship, you have seen it, you've helped make it, you've helped produce it. What are some of those ingredients?
being able to come out of the other side of adversity, a lot of hard work, doing things that a lot of guys don't want to do. Being together is a really big one. And then just everybody believing in each other and doing their one-on-one. Everybody do their own job. Everything will work out fine.
When you look at the guys that are coming back, do you guys have a chip on your shoulder that you didn't finish everything that you wanted to accomplish, meaning that national championship? And is the focus there, or is the focus winning that Gulf South Conference regular season title?
The standard is winning a national championship. The focus right now is going to be on Clark Atlanta for week 1. As always, we look forward to, competing in the GSC, and we're going to go out and win that again this year.
I hear you. Now, you have some hardware that a lot of people don't have. If you could pull up that right hand and show me, that is pretty nice, pretty big, and that's a large V and state.
Yes, sir.
How important is that to you to come home as a conference champion and have that ring?
It means a lot. I think it goes to show all the dedication and hard work that, myself and the team went through last year. But this ring is nice, but it's not the one that, we really want. So
you want 2 more, right? That's what you told
Absolutely. 2 more. 2 more. Yes, sir.
You have a new head coach. What can you tell me about the head coach, and how was the spring different or the same as you had during that championship run last year?
So I actually wasn't here last spring.
Okay.
I didn't arrive to Valdosta State until 2 weeks before fall camp.
Okay.
So from what I've seen from Coach Craig and what the team has gotten from him and his message, I think we're all looking forward to this new era of Blazer football, and just looking to follow under his lead.
I hear you. So as far as building team camaraderie, you get there 2 weeks before the season.
Yes, sir.
Obviously, it's a special place because you guys played as a cohesive unit all the way during the season. What were some of the things that you guys did in order to get that kind of team camaraderie?
A lot of it had to do with off-the-field bonding, whether that just be us hanging out, playing a game with each other, going out to eat, watching film together, just everybody, mixing up. And maybe if you're, if, you're a defensive lineman, maybe go hang out with a receiver or something like that. Just mixing up, everybody on the team, talking to different position groups and getting closer like that.
When you look at the conference, I know a lot of people, when you first got there, they told you that this was a tough conference to play in.
Mm-hmm.
When you went through it the first time, how did that feel, and what do you tell younger players or players who are just transferring in about playing in the Gulf South Conference?
The Gulf South is an amazing conference. My thing to tell them would just be, go in and, each week just put in the work and make sure you watch the necessary film that you need to watch. Every opponent in our conference can be dangerous, so we just have to go out and approach that the right way.
You guys are going to start the season at week 0 against Clark Atlanta. How
Yes, sir.
excited are you to be playing at a neutral site like the historic Legion Field?
I'm very excited. It's a blessing to be able to play there. A lot of history goes through that field. Just looking forward to, Clark Atlanta, week 0, so
now,
getting out there.
We look at the rest of your schedule, you really don't have a lot of slouches, and you have to go to the Citadel
Yes, sir.
to play at the Citadel. A lot of people don't want to play Valdosta State because you guys are so physical, you play so hard. Defensively, where does that physicality come from, and how does the defense, when they look at the schedule, how do they look at the schedule?
I'd like to say that as a whole team, we look at the schedule 1 week at a time. So we know that we have opponents coming up after Clark Atlanta, but as of right now, our main focus is Clark Atlanta. So once Clark Atlanta is over with, then we'll worry about the next opponent. Until then, our focus is Clark Atlanta.
I hear you.
Yes, sir.
Thank you so very much.
Thanks for having me.
And that, that's still a big ring.
Yes, sir.
I hope you get 2 more.
Appreciate
All
that.
right, stay tuned. We come back, we'll have more 2025 Gulf South Conference Football Media Day presented by Caldwell Architects. Stay tuned.
Caldwell Architects brings creative and thoughtful design solutions to the conception and development of every project. As active members of our community, we understand the important role that buildings and spaces play and the people whose lives are impacted by every project we do. Caldwell Architects delivers state-of-the-art, efficient, and effective designs to solve real-world challenges. Let us help make your vision a success.
In Birmingham, cultural roots run deep and strong. In Birmingham, we honor our singular history and embrace the vigor of progress. We are the dinner table of the South, where gathering is as important as culinary art. In Birmingham, we are big city dazzle with deep South charm. Come find your kind of getaway in Birmingham.
Caldwell Architects brings creative and thoughtful design solutions to the conception and development of every project. As active members of our community, we understand the important role that buildings and spaces play and the people whose lives are impacted by every project we do. Caldwell Architects delivers state-of-the-art, efficient, and effective designs to solve real-world challenges. Let us help make your vision a success.
In Birmingham, cultural roots run deep and strong. In Birmingham, we honor our singular history and embrace the vigor of progress. We are the dinner table of the South, where gathering is as important as culinary art. In Birmingham, we are big city dazzle with deep South charm. Come find your kind of getaway in Birmingham.
Welcome back to the 2025 Gulf South Conference Football Preview Show, the media day for the 2025 season, brought to you by Caldwell Architects. And these two young men, I still call you young men, Mike Crawford and Jeff Clever, are here representing Caldwell Architects. Thank you for joining us, gentlemen.
Thanks
so much. Thanks for having us.
All right. And Mike, first question, what's the relationship between the Gulf South Conference and Caldwell Architects, and why is this partnership good for your company?
Well, we've done a lot of growth over the past, particularly 5 years into the greater Southeast region, growing out of Pensacola into Tuscaloosa markets, Birmingham, South Carolina, and Demopolis. So we are able to reach our services to a greater, sort of overlaps with the Gulf South Conference area. And we kind of think of ourselves, we're still actually a fairly small architecture firm at about 25 people, and we kind of think of ourselves like a D2 architecture firm.
Okay.
And all that means, you know, a close relationship with our clients, just the same way that student athletes have with their coaches, and a real, we heard it multiple times today, a real focus on community and service to the community, and the benefits that we have to bring that to these different communities across the Southeast. So we thought it was a really good match. And then a year ago, we brought Jeff Clever on board, is a real expert in athletic facilities, and we have a background in a lot of healthcare and educational workspaces, and athletics kind of intersects those in a really nice way with physical therapy, with training spaces, with educational components of all of these as well. So we thought it was a nice match.
All right. Now, Jeff, you're the expert when it comes to those facilities. The Southeast region is really a hotbed as far as development, because for a long time, guys in high school and certain colleges, they just had the old rust bucket type facilities. But now people want to step up and get the best. And Caldwell Architects is trying to bring the best, correct?
Yes. I guess about 2002, I had the opportunity to pursue a job at the University of Alabama, the renovation and expansion of Coleman Coliseum.
Okay.
And I was with Davis Architects, which is based in Birmingham, and we were fortunate enough to win that job, and developed a relationship with Coach Moore and got to work on a lot of projects for the University of Alabama Crimson Tide Athletics, including several with Scott Cochran. And that gave us opportunities to pursue work at Auburn and Florida and Georgia and some of the other Division I, Power 5 schools. And it's just a really fun project type and really fun clients to work with.
So when you first started, that was most likely one of those outlying expertise that you may have, because a lot of people weren't expanding the way that the University of Alabama was. But now there are a number of schools that are looking to expand their sports offerings, correct?
That's true. And one of the things that I think was good about my relationship with the University of Alabama is that I did not go to Auburn for architecture school.
Very good.
I went to UVA and Georgia Tech ACC, so I think that helped out a lot.
Mike, when we think about what Caldwell Architects provide, you deal with hospitals, you deal with schools, things of that nature. How much has the Southeast region growth helped your company?
It's been integral to it. I mean, we're very much a family and culture-based organization, and with our growth into different markets, we still have this very sort of family and culture-based approach to how we do projects. Our relationships with our clients is really based on us trying to solve the bigger problem, and relative to a lot of D2 schools, we try to do a lot with a little. It's nice that we could do, iconic architectural projects from year to year, but the bulk of our work is renovations and additions and smaller projects, and how do we get the most value out of our dollar out of those projects, thinking outside the box. Like Jeff working on a project at University of West Florida is just a life safety upgrade to a facility, and working with Dave and Tony at the University of West Florida, we tried to think of ways, well, how can we, fold that over into improving the locker rooms as an amenity for the student athletes? How can we improve the lobby for a spectator experience? We even kind of saved dollars to create a branding package that Jeff led that really make much more out of these projects that seem at first glance sort of mundane. So we take great deal of pride in kind of trying to solve that bigger problem and get the most out of their dollar for these kinds of schools.
The Gulf South footprint is basically part of your footprint. How much has this partnership helped you guys as far as expanding your business offerings and introducing yourselves to new schools?
It's just been fantastic. Everyone affiliated with Gulf South Conference has been such a great help with us getting exposure, sharing our services with all of the other schools, beginning those relationships, and with Jeff's expertise, we're already starting to see work being work coming into our office that we can help these different schools with feasibility studies or recruitment packages, all these kinds of things. Like most people that don't realize that architects deal with, that happens way before we put pen to paper and we're drawing a building that stands up and doesn't leak. It might be creating a master plan or a vision for your campus so that those 20 projects that occur, smaller projects that occur over 20 years, all contribute to one another, instead of them just being, okay, we need a locker room, stick it here. Okay, we need a new administrative office, stick it there. We create an overall plan so that in 20 years you can look back and see that the vision has been fulfilled, or that we can create graphics and designs for projects that are upcoming that you can then share with your young student athletes or recruits that come in, say this is going to be the new locker room that's going to be opening next year. And even understanding how that works at kind of the executive level, and how projects get funded from multiple sources and capital campaigns. And we've got to have this part done by this date, this part done by that date. So we really understand the greater picture of how these projects are delivered, and a lot of our work happens before we actually design any building. So it's kind of exciting.
Well, Jeff, you come from a situation where you're starting off trying to make someone's vision come true. They say, okay, we need a locker room that can hold 200 people, but you may only have space for 150. You've got to try to maneuver and try to make that work and still keep the aesthetics of the stadium correct. Am I correct in that?
Yes, we try to think outside the box as much as possible and kind of lean on our prior experience to work with an athletic director to come up with a vision for, say, that expanded, that new locker room or an expanded locker room. And the charge may be a locker room for 200 people, and they have an idea that they think they want to do it this way. But our architects' minds work a little differently. We take that, we listen a lot, we hear what they're saying, but there may be another way to approach that project that makes it easier to get those 200 lockers as opposed to 150. And what we like to do is work on feasibility studies that, like Michael said, turn into recruiting packages, fundraising packages, awareness packages. But that feasibility study is a lot of talking, a lot of listening, a lot of looking. We do draw in 3D all the time, and those images that come out of those studies capture that vision. And I think we're pretty good at doing that. And that eventually, hopefully, will become a project. Sometimes they don't, but it is a fun job to work on the feasibility study and the master planning effort at the beginning.
All right. Jeff, thank you so very much.
Thank you.
Mike, thank you so very
Pleasure.
much. Caldwell Architects, proud sponsors of the 2025 Gulf South Conference Football Media Day. Stay tuned. We'll have more coming up. The Gulf South Conference, for some people, is considered the cradle of coaches in the South for football. But it's more than just football. The Gulf South Conference is championship-level conference at all sports. And joining us now is the commissioner of the Gulf South Conference, Matt Wilson, in his second decade, but he still looks like he's still in his first decade. How
Man, you know how to schmooze, don't you? Good stuff.
Sometimes.
There you go.
First of all, we're down to 4.
Yes.
But we're down to most likely the Power 4 in the South, in the region. Some people would say in the country. How did we get to this point?
Yeah, it's a great question. And those that have followed the Gulf South Conference for a long time know that our membership has been ever-changing and volatile since it was founded in the early 1970s. There's only one 5-year period in the history of the Gulf South Conference where we've had the same membership, and that was during COVID. If there hadn't been for COVID, I'm pretty sure we'd had a change or two there. But we're lucky we've got our Power 4. And they're going to make a march to McKinney, and I'm confident that for the 7th time in the last 13 years, we're going to have somebody play for a national championship. And that speaks to the quality of our programs. And even though we're down to 4, it doesn't change the quality of the coaches, the outstanding student athletes, the passionate fan bases, and the quality institutions that we have in Cleveland and Livingston and Valdosta and Pensacola. So we're excited about that. But your question was, how did we get there? You know, just during my time, we've had 12 different schools play football for us, and we're down to 4. So we had 2 go to Division I and 2 completely cut the sport altogether, no longer have football. Those are difficult decisions to counter as a commissioner or as a membership. Those are going to happen. And then we had another 4 that decided to try something different to help match financial resources and competitive aspirations, which didn't match the 4 that remain in the Gulf South. That's how we got there. The question is, how do we move forward? And it's a difficult one to answer. The inventory of potential partner schools is not very deep. It's a difficult sell to institutions to come compete with teams that consistently play. I think every one of these 4 teams have been a number 1 seed in a regional just in my time here, which is just almost unbelievable. And it's been amazing. But it is it's hard to find partners that are ready to come join us in that. Does it mean we're giving up, throwing our hands up? No, absolutely not. We're trying to find a way to continue our mission of helping our institutions meet their institutional aspirations for athletics. For these 4 schools, it means playing Division II football. It means playing in the Gulf South. It means winning regional and national championships. We want to continue to support that. What will that look like at the end of the day? If I had a magic ball or a crystal ball, I might use it on something else like lottery numbers.
There you go.
So I really can't tell you there, but I'd love to be able to say that everybody's able to continue to meet their institutional aspirations for athletics. That's really what the mission of our conference is.
Well, when you look at your situation, you have a unique future. The future is now expanded playoffs, automatic bid. How does that change the situation? Because there is a possibility you could get all 4 teams into the playoffs.
Well, wouldn't that be something? The worst case for one of our teams is an 0-3 conference record. And you look at the schedules that everybody has had to develop because we have so much non-conference opportunities. Those are really strong schedules. So somebody that goes 7-3 or 8-3, they may be hard to keep out of the playoffs. So I'm excited and hopeful. It's going to be tougher. There's 7 spots in the region. There's 4 conferences that get AQ, so there's only 3 at-large opportunities. It's going to be very difficult. The South Atlantic Conference continues to improve, and so it's going to be difficult for us to get more than a couple teams in, but if there was ever a year to do it, it's this year with these 4.
You are the cradle of coaches in the South as far as football. You've had a lot of coaches that have left this conference, moved on to bigger and better things as coordinators, as head coaches. You've had a couple that left. You got new coaches that have come in. What does that say about not only the stability of the conference, but how competitive and how much growth have we seen as far as the coaches and how much they can grow as coaches?
It just shows the opportunities that are available at our institutions. You can get where you want to be from our institutions. And I think in this day and age with transfer portal, that's probably something our coaches have to sell a lot to our student athletes. You can get where you want to be by being at our institutions. Our institutions are committed to playing at a high level and providing a quality experience, and they let coaches coach. And I think you're seeing that in the development that they've been able to do through coaching.
When we take a look at the landscape, a lot of people have talked about the Power Five, rev sharing, transfer portal, NIL, things of that nature. NIL is still here for all kids to take part in. But when we think about the future of Division II athletics, how much has the commissioners and athletic directors gone to the NCAA and said, okay, what are we going to be doing in the future?
That's a great question, and we'll forward it on to Indianapolis and see if they'll help us out a little bit with that. I'm hopeful now that the House settlement, which codified NIL, is complete, that the focus can return to educational-based college athletics. The other 1,000 members of the NCAA outside of those 100 that are competing at the very highest level, so we can make sure we can protect these opportunities. These opportunities are important. Higher education and college athletics are under attack from politicians, from the public, and we've got to do something to preserve these opportunities. Outside of the GI Bill and the Pell Grant, I would say that you can make a pretty good argument that college athletics has been the greatest gateway to higher education in this entire country. And we run the risk of damaging those opportunities in this current climate if we don't focus on that educational model of college athletics.
For your other sports, it seems as though the health of the conference is very good. You've added a couple of schools. How healthy is the Gulf South Conference in sports like volleyball, lacrosse, things of that nature, soccer, and what does the future hold?
Yeah, we've got 19 sports. 18 of them are in a great spot membership-wise. We're competing for championships. We've got high-quality teams with high-quality athletes and great coaches and growing facilities. The future is really bright. I'm bullish still on where the Gulf South is headed. We've got a lot of great things going for us. There are people that want to partner with us in other sports besides football. We think we can get there. We think there's an opportunity for a big tent in the Gulf South Conference and more people. But this is a unique climate, again, for higher ed. There's challenges that they're facing, particularly financial challenges. Travel has never been more expensive. Equipment costs have never been more expensive. Declining enrollments and declining subsidies from state institutions and philanthropy are really making it a challenge. We want to come alongside our schools, make sure they can continue to provide the opportunities that they're providing hundreds of young people on their campuses every year.
We've talked to Caldwell Architects. How did that partnership come about from your end, and how important is that for the health of the Gulf South Conference?
You know, the Caldwell Architects partnership is an ideal one if you're a conference commissioner. They had an existing relationship with our friends at University of West Florida. They have a great office in Pensacola. The connection came from them to us, and we were able to create a custom package to be able to showcase their brand and provide them those business-to-business opportunities that they were looking for. So it was an ideal partnership. Their goals and their people match what we try to do in the Gulf South Conference, and those are the ones that last. So I'm excited. We're heading into our second year with this group. We did a smaller sponsorship last year. We've expanded it this year, so I'm excited. Jeff and Mike are fantastic, and the rest of their team down there at Caldwell Architects. That's a great partnership for us, and those are the kind that we look forward, and we have to be able to bring some of that financial and corporate partnership support to the conference.
Have some of your university presidents already sort of bent the ear of the architects to try to say, hey, can you guys do things like this?
That's what I understand, is that they've had a chance to talk to some people, and that's the great thing about our partnerships, whether it's with Caldwell Architects or others with other products and services, is we look for people that can be a resource to our institutions. Would they love to get the business? Absolutely. That's, at the end of the day, that's what they're looking for, right? But they also want to be a great resource to be able to ask questions for, someone that you can safely go say, hey, does this sound right? Is this something that we can do? And I think that's what they've been able to do for our presidents and ADs.
Football going forward this fall, what do you think it's going to take to have another Valdosta State or Valdosta State back in McKinney coming in December?
Yeah, I think if our student athletes can stay healthy and our teams do what they're supposed to do in the non-conference play and the weather cooperates in November, I think that's probably been the only – I don't want to make any excuses, but maybe that's the only regional we've lost was because of some really crummy weather in the last decade. I think we'll have a great chance to send somebody back to the semifinals. Once you make it to the semifinals, you're one away, and I'm confident that any of these four teams could win that semifinal game and be in McKinney.
How special would it be if they could go head-to-head?
Let's go. Let's see how far we can get them. We see how far we can get them.
All right. Thank you so very much.
Thanks, James. I really
All right.
appreciate all you do for the conference. You've been a great supporter and treat this in a great professional way and make this Flow Sports production so good. So your support there is great. And James and Angelo and Jason and Brian on our team who have made this a really good production, make this something special. This was a vision we had a while back, and you all have taken it and made it even better than I could have imagined. So thank you very much for giving up your time. Thanks for capturing my vision, and instead of shaking your head at me in front of me, at least shake your head when I leave the room and then go make it happen. So I'm really thankful for you all.
Well, we appreciate that. You're very, very welcome. Stay tuned. We come back. We will wrap things up here in Birmingham, Alabama, right here in Hoover, Alabama, for the 2025 Gulf South Conference Football Media Day right here on Flow College. Okay, so we've heard from the coaches, we've heard from the players, we've even heard from the commissioner and our proud sponsor, Caldwell Architects. Now all that's left is for the players to report to camp and get ready for the fall season. Thursday, August 28th, Delta State will take on the University of Central Missouri, and then Saturday at Legion Field on August 30th, Valdosta State and West Alabama will take on Fort Valley State and Clark Atlanta in a kickoff classic right at Legion Field. So that'll do it here from Hoover, Alabama, right outside of Birmingham, Alabama. We thank you so very much for joining us as we count you down to the Gulf South Conference kicking off the 2025 season, as 4 teams will compete for one automatic bid, but possibly all 4 make it to the playoff as they march to McKinney for the Division II National Championship. For all of us here at the Gulf South Conference, we thank you for joining us, and we can't wait for the season to kick off here for the 2025 season. Have a good day.